Hey everybody, this is Abby from Realistic Kitchen and Gardens. Today is Thursday, November 29th. It's been about a month since my last update. It's been like maybe a month after the first frost. And we're just going to start with a quick update on the raspberry canes. These are all the new growth from this year. So they're obviously kind of shutting down for the winter. This is a very windy area, this very specific spot they're in. It is a south-facing wall on the house, so it will help give a little bit of heat to them. But basically this is a good example of which canes actually survived the winter, the summer, took and then produced new sprouts. And then the majority of the ones in the middle did not, for whatever reason. This one did produce one. That one didn't, but then so I have five of the 10. This is my lilac bush, which already has its buds ready for the spring, if it'll focus. And here's my rosemary, ARP rosemary from Territorial Seeds. I got it in May and transplanted it in the ground. Fresh top coating of topsoil for it for this coming year. And then we'll head over to some of the garden beds. This is the herb garden bed: thyme, oregano, chives. I did a top dressing of topsoil again. These are skeletons of basil. These obviously are very long dead, but these are all the seed heads if you ever wanted to harvest seed from basil. This is where you get it from. Parsley. This is, I think, large leaf Italian parsley that I started from seed shoot back in March of last year. We've had some really hard frosts. It's been really cold. It was 19 degrees yesterday, and the center of the plant is still okay. I feel like this one's a little bit cold hardier than the previous ones I've had. And then this is the winter savory, which is a perennial version of summer savory that I got. It's a bit more, it's not the same flavor as winter savory, but the benefit of it is it's a perennial, so it comes back every year. This obviously does not care about the cold. Horehound in the mint family. I doubt anything will be able to kill it. There's a chive plant in here that I covered with top dress. And then here is my thyme. I'm trying to keep this to be a nice big plant because I want this to kind of fill this bed in to give me a lot more mint. Chocolate mint that I got this spring, also with Territorial Seeds. Mint will overwinter. The problem with mint is that it gets so vigorous in a pot, it will fill the pot with their roots. So there's more root than dirt. So then there's not as much insulation. This plant I trimmed back a lot to basically harvest it. So I think this is helping it a bit. But it does get cold. Mint gets cold damage. They have all these pups coming from the roots. That may survive. I have taken a propagation inside to just, I did really like the plant, so I took a propagation to keep it for next year. German chamomile is annual, so that will reseed itself everywhere. That's peppermint, the fuzzier one. Don't care if that makes it. Spearmint, don't care if that makes it. That mint is actually, this spearmint is actually impressively upright. The most upright variety of mint I've seen. I don't love it though. I mean, it'll reseed itself. It'll propagate from roots. This is the ginger mint I got from Territorial Seeds in with a pot of chives. I'm not interested. I really didn't like the variety. And then in here is seeded with some cilantro, which is struggling with the cold. And then there's also a couple little, this is the free lettuce seed I got from Baker Creek. These are not happy with the cold. That one's okay-ish, but I haven't protected these whatsoever. So this is just what they're doing. Also, I'm wondering if this is poison hemlock that seeded itself, because why wouldn't it? Honestly, I can't remember what that is. That might be the rest of the cilantro coming up finally. I don't know. Anyway. This is a cover crop of, I think it's called green manure, that I top dressed with a little bit of topsoil. So some of it's underground, some of it's not. This is mostly probably either oats or rye or something like that. Peas. There was a hairy vetch in here somewhere, but I don't see it. So this will get cold damage and die off and help replenish the nutrients and organic matter. Chives. And I actually planted in these green onion sprouts, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago. Onions are extremely hardy to the cold. So these have been out exposed to all the temperatures, all the hard frosts, all that, and they don't care, and they're growing slowly, but they're growing. This is the bed that has the lemon balm, which I know dies off. It's technically possibly a perennial, but also tender annual. We'll see if it comes back. I don't really care if it does. This is the lemongrass that I just kind of let stay here when I harvested the stalks. And then this is Good King Henry, which is a perennial spinach type of plant. It has a little bit of cold damage. Like this leaf is super floppy, super soft and floppy, but some of them have more firmness to them. This is a good option if you don't want to have to worry about seeding plants in the summer or in the spring, because this will come up by itself as some of the very first plants there is. I found this from Richards also, which is where I got the winter savory and the horehound, white horehound. Calendulas have all died off here from the frost. I haven't been taking care of them whatsoever. And don't worry, Leo got all his plumage back after he molted. Right, handsome? Hey, Leo. Chickens don't care about the cold. They're chickens. This batch of garlic is impressively cold hardy, and I can't remember if this is Adonai because all my tags have kind of disintegrated in the sun. But this is a small top dressing of just clippings, grass clippings. So this is one variety. The foliage of garlic will die off in the winter and it will come back in the spring. The cloves are still doing their thing, so it's not a big deal. I have 6 varieties of garlic in here. This one's up too, look at that. And this side is actually colder. You can see it's in the shade, shaded out by my neighbor's shed barn thing here, which is fine. The sun travels differently in the winter than it does the summer. Another couple garlics. So we'll see how these do. And then these are the 2 rows of cover crops. I think this is the soil breaker cover crop. This was the one that had the cardboard covered, and then this was just tilled on top. Again, it's straight clay, so obviously the tilling works better. Again, garlic row, potatoes in the spring, and then this will be used for other summer crops this year. Here are my overwintered onions. They were transplanted out in mid-October and they're growing. So there's 3 rows. There's this row right here, which are the red onions. I think they're spring red. They're meant to overwinter. And then there's 2 rows of, it's a yellow onion type. I forget what the name of the variety is. High Keeper, that's what it is. HI-Keeper from Territorial Seeds also. So these will go decently dormant. I doubt you'll make it. You'll look a little squishy there. Ooh, okay. Shouldn't have touched that. So, I mean, this is an experiment for me. This is my first year, and I also haven't mulched these at all. This is just the topsoil I planted them in. These are my cabbages. So let's see how we're doing. That is Red Express. These are both supposed to be like 50 some days. They slow down in the cold. You have a decent amount of cold damage. So these bits are a little floppy. You have some cold damage on this. I think I planted these out too late to actually make these cabbages worthwhile, but they were supposed to be a very short season variety, and I think I flopped on that. Let me see if I can find. Here's Green Express, which is doing a little better. That one's okay. This one's a little better, but this is floppy. This is a little bit more filled out. This one feels more kind of hollow. These cabbages look awful. There's a lot of slug damage to them. You know, the slugs will crawl up them and eat them. This one's looking better. Look at this. This one's bigger than those two. Oh yeah. Could arguably harvest you at your size if I really wanted. Itsy bitsy cabbage. And this is the, nope, this is broccoli. This is, oh, what's the name of this? Waltham. Waltham broccoli. This is a heading type broccoli. This one got some cold damage originally, so that's why it's under the frost blanket. Some things are cold hardier than others. Nice little floret. It's about 40 degrees today, by the way, so it's a little bit better. It's been in the 20s, but it's about 40 degrees. I should probably uncover these. It's a nice little head. There was one head that was probably the biggest. Oh, there it is. So yeah, that's at the end of its life. This isn't big whatsoever. And here's another one. I think I will leave these uncovered. If I remember to cover them tonight, great. That's not bad either. Anyway, and then this half of the garden, where am I? 1 row, 2 row, 3 rows, 4 rows, 4? Yeah, 4 rows. So 2, no, it's 3 rows, sorry. I haven't been out here much, it's been so cold. Is empty. I mean, I did carrots and I decided to leave this half vacant and I let my chickens in it, so. These are the carcasses of radishes, Thai basil. This was a Genovese basil. Another basil. This is a pepper. Obviously, they're very frost tender, so they've died off a long time ago. These were my snow peas. Oregon sugar snow peas that volunteered themselves, and they got hit with frost at the very beginning and died. So they didn't do well at all. Meanwhile, this is purple sprouting broccoli from Gurney, which it says their season is something like 77 days. This is much more cold tolerant. These are not protected whatsoever. I know they look a little ratty, but like this is a little cold damaged. Like it feels floppy, but this is actual cold damage. So these are still doing really well. These aren't made to do like a big head, so I'm impressed how big this is. They're known more for doing all these little like side shoots to get a bunch of small florets. This one flopped over. I don't even know where your head is. I'm not gonna screw with that. There's another nice one. That's a big one. You got bigger than my heading broccoli, friend. It has a nice few florets on it. All my brassicas, like the stems of them all get weird and curly. So like this one does I need to get better about keeping them staked straight. So there's that. So this purple sprouting is doing pretty good. This one flopped over. I did have it staked, but it flopped over. And then this one kind of did a curly. You can even see some frost on this one still, and it doesn't mind whatsoever. So I like this variety. I'm 99% certain deer is eating my kale, but it only likes the purple kale. It doesn't like this Latino style, which is still growing. This is very new growth. but it's getting some cold damage. Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. One Swiss chard died. This is a creeping Charlie, but it used to be a Swiss chard, and there's 2 Swiss chard in here, and they are still producing new leaves, but every time the leaves get big enough and a frost hits, the leaves get soft and mushy and die. So I should probably cover that. Okay, and the last row, carcass of my dill ducat, D-U-K-A-T, and this was the purple basil. I forget what it's called. This is Long Island Brussels sprouts. These are meant to fall off. This does this. I'm having mixed luck with these. So this was one of the ones I harvested earliest on, but these ones seem to, like, this is a Brussels sprout. This is one of the sprouts, and it's fully open, and obviously they're not supposed to do that. So they're bolting a lot. So this is regular Long Island. There is a variety called Long Island Improved, and I know nothing about it, but I know it exists. And then this is Darling Brussels sprouts. They're obviously meant to be red, and I feel like they've turned more red with the cold. They do have some green to them. I harvested some for Thanksgiving, and these sprouts are firmer and doing better. I should trim off some more of these leaves. I feel like these need a lot more direct sun in the winter, which may be a duh moment, but you know. There's frost on the stalk. All of these are still firm, small and tight. In my calendar, I have them harvesting for December, and I have harvested some already. So they're doing pretty good. I do like this variety. I do have different green Brussels sprout varieties on my list to try next year. This one was really short, but this one's doing okay. So the garden is still doing things. It's slow, and as long as the variety is nice and cold hardy, like these Brussels sprouts, these sprouting broccoli that could not care less about 20-degree weather, good on ya, and frosts. And arguably this purple moon kale, which is from, it's either Renee's or Annie's. I don't have the place on it, but purple moon kale, this is really hardy to the cold. This doesn't care about the cold, just something's eating it, and it's taking the whole leaf. But of all the things for the deer to eat, you would think they would take some broccoli too if they like kale, but whatever. So that's the garden. Even in November, it's doing things slowly but surely. So if you like this kind of stuff, please like, comment, and subscribe for more, and follow my Facebook page, Realistic Kitchen and Gardens, to see more shenanigans. Bye.